Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It's midweek, and for me personally, it's a time for me to reflect and whether I need some encouragement because it's been that kind of week or some reminders to continue to be more Christ-like. So I hope that today's devotion will help you do one or the other. So we've been talking about bridging the gap at St. Luke's, and this past Sunday the pastors mentioned chapter 5, which is value the vulnerable. So in the chapter, it mentions a story from Mark chapter 5 about how Jesus restores a demon-possessed man. See, Jesus came across the lake to the region of Gerasene, and when he got there, a man that came from the tombs came to meet him. Now, this man lived in the tombs because he had impure spirit. Not only did he have impure spirits, but he was also very violent and angry. On top of that, he was a very strong man, so he would be very violent and angry towards others, and they had to send him to the tombs so he wouldn't hurt others. It even says that during the night and day, among the tombs, you could hear the man cry out and even cut himself with stones. This is someone probably that if we met today, we would probably steer way clear of. We wouldn't want to be near them, let alone our families. But of course, Jesus does the opposite. Of course, Jesus not only heals him of these impure spirits, but he also gets to know him. He asks, "What is your name?" So for Jesus, he wanted not just to heal him, but he wanted to value him. He wanted to value the vulnerable. So I've been thinking, what are some examples of where people value the vulnerable? And of course, what came to mind is my classroom. I teach first grade, and every year my students are all different shapes and sizes, meaning I have students that are second language learners, I have students that have special needs, I have students that might have attention deficit. So needless to say, my class is a mix of different types of people. So the one thing I always want to stress is building a classroom community. And one way we do that is by having a morning meeting every day. And in our morning meeting, we do greetings and we do friendly games. But the one thing I enjoy the most is when they share their stories. And after a student shares his or her story, they can say, "I'm ready for questions and comments." This gives students a chance to ask questions about their story that they might not understand and want to know more. Or they might give a comment that might relate to what they said. So through this, kids that wonder get to know more about the person, and kids that find something in common with them find similarities. And so they are valuing each other. And some of these stories can be very real and very heartbreaking, and some of them can be lighthearted and exciting. And through it all, we support each other, we learn to be active listeners and be respectful, and through that we build our classroom community. So throughout the year, when we come to those little bumps in the road where they're arguing or they might have said something offensive or unkind, that they can have those conversations with each other and listen and discuss and apologize and just all in all be a community that shows love. So sometimes I wonder, why is that so hard for us as adults when we learned it when we were kids? Maybe we need to go back to our childhood and sometimes remember to act like a child. We're always telling kids to grow up, but here they are showing us unconditional love and valuing people and their worth and listening to their stories each and every day. I mean, after all, aren't we God's children? So I encourage you to act like a child and learn to value the vulnerable, learn to listen to their stories, learn to actively listen when it's hard, learn to ask questions and wonder, and learn to share comments on what they shared. I want to leave you with this. This is a poem I'm sure you all have heard, and it's called All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. And I think it's perfect for today's devotion. All I really need to know I learned in kindergarten. All I really need to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Wisdom was not at the top of the graduate school mountain, but there in the sand pile at Sunday school. These are the things I learned. Share everything. Play fair. Don't hit people. Put things back where you found them. Clean up your own mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some, and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day some. Take a nap every afternoon. When you go out into the world, watch out for traffic. Be aware, hold hands, and stick together. Be aware of wonder. Remember the little seed in the styrofoam cup? The roots go down and the plant grows up, and nobody really knows why or how, but we are all like that. Goldfish and hamsters and white mice and even the little seed in the styrofoam cup, they all die. So do we. And then remember the Dick and Jane books, and the first word you learned, the biggest word of all, look. Everything you need to know is in there somewhere. The golden rule and love and basic sanitation, ecology and politics and equality and sane living. Take any of those items and extrapolate it into your sophisticated adult terms and apply it to your family life or your work life or your government or your world, and it holds true and clear and firm. Think what a better world it would be if we all, the whole world, had cookies and milk about 3 o'clock every afternoon and then lay down with our blankies for a nap. Or if all the governments had a basic policy to always put things back where they found them and to clean up their own mess. And it is still true, no matter how old you are, when you go out into the world, it is best to hold hands and stick together. So, I leave you with this. I hope everyone remembers to do something today that they learned from kindergarten so we can show reckless love and remember to value others. After all, we are God's children, so go act like a kid. Shalom. Bye.